The news for months now has been home sales are down and prices are dropping. Still, you might be surprised to find out that when it comes to condos and townhomes in both the Greater Vancouver and Fraser Valley real estate boards, that we are firmly entrenched in a seller's market with a 27% sales to active ratio. Now, this is actually just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to some of the most interesting statistics that I am going to cover in today's Vancouver and Lower Mainland monthly market update. Welcome back to your Vancouver and Lower Mainland market update, where I cover the latest monthly statistics from both the Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver and the Fraser Valley. So as I mentioned in my intro, despite the news that the headlines that the sales are down, interest rates are on the rise, and inflation is hurting many of the people out there, our stats paint, well, not a rosy picture, but certainly not a bleak one like the media sort of does of the real estate market right now. So back to what I opened with. When it comes to condos and townhomes in both the Greater Vancouver and Fraser Valley real estate boards, the numbers indicate that we are actually in a seller's market with a 27% sales to active ratio. As for detached homes, the story is a little bit different. On that side, in the Greater Vancouver and Fraser Valley real estate boards, the sales to active ratio is 16%, which technically is a balanced market. So I talk a lot about sales to active ratio, so here's a quick recap of what that means. The sales to active ratio is the speed at which the current inventory of homes are selling. And it's calculated by taking the sales for the whole month, so we're taking sales for September right now, and dividing them by the active listings, so what's on the market, and then you get the percentage of the rate at which homes are selling. So there are three markets that we talk about in real estate, and they are the buyer's market, the balanced market, and the seller's market. In a buyer's market, the sales ratio is 11% or less. To be in a balanced market, the sales ratio has to be between 12% and 20%. And finally, the seller's market, which we're in a lot of last year, must be over 21%, well, 21% and over. So let's talk some numbers. Keep in mind when I tell you this, there were two interest rate hikes that affected some of the September home sales numbers as well. So the July 13th, which was a 1% increase, and September 7th, which was a 0.75% increase. But somehow, despite those hikes, entry-level properties are dominating sales. One might assume that people affected most by the interest rate hikes would be the entry-level buyer, but that doesn't seem to have slowed them down at all. So if you follow my Monday Market Monitor, then you'll know that I have been talking about the strength in the condo and townhome market for weeks, and this data that comes out from September just backs it all up as well. So the lowest sales to active ratio for condos and townhomes was in Mission, and that was coming in at 13%, which, if you remember what I just said, is still considered a balanced market. So good amount of product for buyers to find, and sellers can still get good sales done. The highest was actually in Ladner at a whopping 56%. Some notable mentions: Cloverdale at 40%, North Delta at 38%, North Van and Poco both at 36%. It would seem that there were still people taking advantage of selling their condos and townhomes in this seller's market and making their move to buy detached homes in a balanced market where they're able to negotiate a good deal. So if you have a condo or a townhome and you think that you might want to make a move up to a detached, this is the time to do it. In fact, I don't know that there's actually been a better time in quite a number of years to make a move like that. So let's look at the detached side of the coin. Remember, the detached sales to active ratio for the Greater Vancouver and Fraser Valley real estate boards is 16%. A totally just a balanced market. And unlike the condo and townhome space, we have areas that are full-on buyer's markets. So it's not a huge surprise, but the areas that had the highest sales ratio for detached homes are all in that were all in sellers markets. We're on the North Shore and out towards the Tri-Cities. North Van hit 30%, Coquitlam hit 25%, Port Moody was 27%, and Port Coquitlam got up to 35%. So contrast that with the areas that found themselves in buyer's markets. So Surrey at a dismal 10%, New West at 10%, and the lowest number goes to, drumroll please, West Vancouver at 7% sales ratio. Last month, West Van had 390 homes on the market and a dismal 28 sold. When I look at the properties on the market in West Van, I'm floored right now because no one seems to have a great pricing strategy. So what do I mean by that? It's simple. The agents and the sellers don't seem to have any idea who their target buyers are, what matters to them, or how to market them, or how to price their properties appropriately for a successful home sale. So if you're considering selling in this market, your agent doesn't understand any of those very basic pieces of a sales strategy, good luck, because you might end up stuck on the market and trying to catch a falling knife. Lastly, I want to just touch on a couple of interesting numbers that are related to some historical stats that I've been looking at. I'm going to be diving into more in sort of my Monday market monitors as we move forward over the next couple of weeks. Something I find intriguing is the days on market for a successful home sale. In 2021, the average time that it took across all products, so detached townhomes, condos, was 14.88 days to get a successful sale. In 2022, year to date, we're at 12.27%. So homes are selling faster this year to date, than last year. And in a slowing market, you would expect that properties would sit on the market longer, but that's clearly not the case here. Now, this could be because people are pricing more aggressively to try and, ensure they get a sale, or some of them have a better understanding of value and what it looks like in this market, or it could be a better understanding of the buyer pool. But what I can tell you from experience and being on the ground right now is that the properties that have not adjusted to the new reality of value that we're in, right, are just sitting on the market, as well as the properties where, sellers think they can get February's pricing. That's a pipe dream. But good properties that are well priced are moving because in reality, there is diddly squat good inventory out there. So we're still seeing properties that are selling at or above list price. I actually report this number in my Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver Monday Market Monitor stats that 19% of the properties that sold last week sold at or above the list price. So there's still competition out there when things are priced appropriately and marketed well. And while it's true that prices have come down significantly since February, inventory remains low and will continue to trend downward as we move towards the holiday season. Basically, nobody wants to put their house on the market over the holidays. But I'm curious to see if prices into 2023 are going to hold or continue to be chipped away at, given that that there's a rate hike still to come December 7th, and the fact that we've got a foreign buyers ban that is looming on January 1st. Well, it all remains to be seen, but you can tune in here every Monday to get the most up-to-date happenings in the Real Estate Board of Greater Vancouver with yours truly. Thank you so much for tuning in to this month's Vancouver and Lower Mainland Market Update. I will see you in the next video.